The episode begins with a team of elite warriors managing to close a portal that was unleashing monsters into the world. However, their celebration is short-lived as the towering warrior warns that unless the Demon King is defeated, their world remains doomed. Their leader, referencing his brother's fallen world, remains hopeful. He tells the others not to give in to despair. He believes a new hero will emerge to inherit their power and save the world. Meanwhile, the Thunderbike team battles a multi-headed Hydra. Yuck, acting as support, boosts Seinen and Barry to help them coordinate attacks. Barry delivers a heavy strike, Jimia unleashes fire, and Seinen finishes the Hydra with a powerful blow after receiving enhancements from Yuck. The battle is broadcast live, earning cheers from viewers and inspiring future warriors. Later at a tavern, Yuck vents about his low pay and mounting debt. He says he wants to quit the team. Seinen explains that pay depends on battlefield contributions, and Barry accuses Yuck of never truly fighting. Jamie comments that Yuck's only job was managing the live streams. Camila adds that if he wants higher pay, he should fight more. Yuck reminds them that he's been supporting them all along, especially Camila, though she doesn't recall. Feeling unappreciated, Yuck thanks them for the years together and leaves, despite Seinen warning him that no A-rank team will take in a B-rank again. Barry coldly confirms he won't be welcomed back. Yuck heads to the Warriors Guild to seek a new team. While registering, he's reunited with Marina, a young woman he trained over a year ago. She invites him to join her team. He meets her teammates Silk and Rin. Though Silk is unsure about having a B-rank join their D-rank team, Yuck says he's open to working with lower ranks to save on costs. Marina and Ren are thrilled, calling him Master, but he asks to just be called Yuck. Marina happily welcomes him to Team Clover. Their first mission together is to collect damn ass from an old ruin. Yuck recommends starting from the 4th floor to avoid a dangerous monster on the 5th. Inside, Marina shows off her trap detecting skills Yuck had taught her. He then uses a special lantern with enchanted oil he crafted himself to detect traps even more efficiently. They run into goblins. Silk and Marina attack while Yuck boosts Marina's strength and uses traps to take out enemies. Marina is amazed at how strong she feels, and Yuck explains he used 3 enhancements. Afterward, they take a break, and the team realizes how much better they feel compared to other missions. Thanks to Yuck's support, a surprise monster attack follows. Yuck quickly coordinates their response, and Ren unleashes a massive spell to wipe out the enemies. Yuck replenishes her mana and explains that with this level of red magic, she could join an A-rank team. As they proceed, he uses holy water to ward off undead, which he made using ashes from defeated undead, another example of his magical alchemy. They pause for a meal that Yuck cooks using an enchanted pot. The food is not only delicious but also energizing, filled with mana. The girls are impressed. Rejuvenated, they descend to the 4th floor and face a huge rock lizard. Yuck paralyzes it with a spell, and Marina lands the final blow. Though exhausted, she's revived by another of Yuck's potions. He then begins extracting magical iron from the beast. When they realize they need more iron, Yuck suggests heading to the dangerous 5th floor. The team is nervous, but he reassures them. He promises to fight the monster alone and starts a live broadcast. Marina names the Team Clover in honor of their 4-member bond and the monster's lair. Yuck takes on the beast by himself, casting advanced spells and displaying incredible skill. He defeats it with ease. After the fight, the team is amazed. Marina clings to him, and the others praise his power. Yuck stores the monster in a magical bag and discovers a treasure chest full of magical iron. Back in town, the team praises Yuck again and asks him to be their leader. Though he's hesitant, saying he's only just joined, they insist. He agrees, promising to lead with care and listen to their feedback. Elsewhere, the Thunderbike team is struggling. Without Yuck's support, they're overwhelmed by wolves. Camila runs out of mana. Jamie is injured and panic sets in. They finally realize how essential Yuck had been, providing healing, mana boosts, and potions they had taken for granted. Cork, their new support, is overwhelmed and storms off after being blamed. Yuck watches from a distance, silent. Team Clover decides to take a short break. Yuck plans to shop for ingredients and make more holy water. Ren is still amazed by his alchemy. They agree to regroup at the guild in a few days. Their latest broadcast reaches nearly 6,000 viewers. Yuck is modest, attributing it to beginner-level content, but the team is thrilled. Meanwhile, Simon and Barry watch bitterly, jealous of Yuck's growing popularity. The next day, Yuck requests a new mission, something easy that will help his team grow. Surprisingly, he's offered an S-rank quest that seems simple: retrieve special stones. But the catch is, the stones are guarded by a magical beast. Yuck realizes it's a hidden challenge but accepts it. Marina trusts his judgment, and the team is ready to move forward. Before they leave, the receptionist warns Yuck not to put himself in danger unnecessarily, especially now that he's becoming famous. As they walk away, an ominous figure watches from the shadows, muttering with frustration. Yuka wandered through the bustling market, but an unsettling feeling lingered. He sensed someone was following him. Trusting his instincts, he began weaving through the streets to shake the pursuer. Despite his efforts, the man reappeared, glaring at him with fury and calling out to confirm his identity. Yuka stopped and confidently replied, "Of course you know who I am. You've been stalking me." Without wasting time, the man demanded Yuka leave Team Clover. Yuka raised an eyebrow, questioning why he should abandon the team after only 3 days, especially now that he had just been named their leader. The man revealed his weapon and boldly declared he had wanted to join the team long before Yuka, believing they would be better off with him instead. He insisted Yuka step down and leave for good. Unshaken, Yuka, having anticipated trouble, calmly stated that his place as leader was secure. As he turned his back to walk away, the enraged man threatened him and lunged forward. But before he could strike, he suddenly froze mid-motion and collapsed, immobilized by one of Yuka's pre-prepared spells. "Good thing I took precautions," Yuka muttered to himself. Later, the team rode together in a carriage en route to their mission site. Silk informed Yuka that the man was named Baiso, someone who had repeatedly tried to join their team but was always turned down. Marina added that Baiso lacked the skills necessary to be part of their group. You noted that his behavior seemed unstable, especially considering he had drawn a weapon in the middle of the city. Run asked if Yuka had been hurt, but he reassured her he was fine and had left Baiso unconscious in the city. Silk apologized for the trouble, but Yuka dismissed her concerns and promised to report the incident to the guild upon their return. He assured them he'd handle things if Baiso caused more problems. Marina smiled and called Yuka reliable, to which he humbly replied, "Don't exaggerate." To everyone's surprise, Yuka handed out sweets he had bought at the market, delighting the team. Shifting the conversation back to the mission, Yuka explained that their objective was to collect 3 magical stones from Arden Forest. Silk noted that the real challenge would be the monster guarding them. Yuka agreed, speculating that the creature might be similar to wolves, deer, or other forest animals. He asked if anyone had visited the forest before, and Marina confirmed they had about a month ago, though she didn't recall seeing any monsters. Yuka took this as a good sign but reminded everyone to stay cautious, explaining that coastal creatures might be nearby since the forest bordered a lake. However, their target resided deeper within. Yuka said he would deploy a camera to scout for the monster and broadcast the encounter live. Even if they had to retreat, the footage would help gather valuable data, and the guild could dispatch reinforcements. A victory, he added, would boost the team's reputation. Silk admitted she had never thought of broadcasting strategically. Run joked she should have brought new clothes for the occasion, while Silk lamented not spending more time fixing her hair. Yuka noticed how poised Silk looked for her age, especially with her striking black bow. Marina caught his expression and reassured him that Silk was only 17, not as old as he might think. Embarrassed, Yuka insisted he hadn't said anything. Silk scolded Marina for revealing her age and asked Yuka not to assume she was older. Run joined in the teasing, proudly announcing she was 20. Yuka, surprised, admitted he thought she was closer to his age. The playful exchange lightened the mood as the team prepared for the challenge ahead. Arriving at the forest, Silk asked if this mission might be too dangerous for less experienced adventurers. Yuka agreed, saying that's likely why the receptionist had warned him. He emphasized that they shouldn't hesitate to retreat if things went badly. Activating the camera, Yuka grinned and said, "Let the fun begin." As they ventured deeper, Yuka noticed a lack of monster activity. Marina asked why Yuka was leading this time, as it differed from their last mission. He explained that while the previous maze was filled with traps, this forest had none, though ambushes were still a threat. Silk worried that leading put Yuka in danger, but he reassured her that his armor could handle most attacks. Soon, they heard a distant sound, Yuka identified it as waterfalls and hoped they'd reach the area safely. Suddenly, he spotted movement and signaled the team to stop. He activated the live broadcast as a massive creature emerged, a giant Zurag, king of beasts. Yuka explained that such monsters were rarely seen in the region and secretly doubted their strength would be enough. Silk, stunned by its size, questioned why it appeared. Realizing the danger, Yuka ordered the team to retreat while he held the beast off. He assigned Silk as acting leader, but Marina refused to leave him. She told Yuka to focus on pinning the beast down while she targeted its head. Inspired, Rin stepped up and called the monster their trophy. Silk, though hesitant, offered to use the forest terrain to slow the creature. Yuka warned the beast was too dangerous, but Marina argued the risk was equal for them all. Realizing they wouldn't back down, Yuka committed to the fight. He cast a powerful spell to boost the team's defenses. Marina launched the first attack, but the Zurag easily deflected her and sent her flying into a wall. Yuka countered with offensive spells, but the monster's resilience shocked him. Marina got back up and was ready to go again. He told her to distract it while he prepared a stronger spell. Marina dodged the beast's attacks, keeping its focus on her. Silk used her powers to restrain it. Yuka, now ready, warned Marina to clear out, then unleashed his spell, though it wasn't enough. Rin followed up with a lightning spell, finally wounding the beast. Yuka gave the signal, and Marina delivered the final blow, severing its head. With the mission complete, Yuka ended the broadcast. Many had watched, among them was Seinen, who felt anger instead of admiration. Drained from expending so much mana, Yuka admitted the fight had been too difficult. He praised the girls but warned they could expect stricter feedback in the future. Rin joked she'd reprimand him too for risking himself, and Silk added her own critiques. Yuka playfully responded that they were all ganging up on him, insisting their victory was mostly luck. The girls groaned at that. Still, Yuka promised to review the events thoroughly. They headed to the beach to rest, and while setting up camp, Yuka reflected on the mission. He told Marina she needed more patience, Rin more self-confidence, and Silk less caution. Then, with a smirk, he said if he were a guild official, he'd rank them D, earning more protests. Over dinner, Rin used her magic to fetch water and light a fire while Yuka cooked, thinking how much potential the team had. Maybe one day they'd surpass even Thunderbite.at. The guild later, Marina asked why the guild leader hadn't met with them yet. Yuka speculated it was because the monster they defeated had been rank B, not D, and the leader might have concerns. When the guild leader arrived, he said, "You've done it again, haven't you?" Yuka defended himself, pointing to his report, but the leader wanted his personal thoughts. Yuka reminded him not to scare the girls, asking him to direct any anger toward him alone. Silk, startled, warned Yuka about speaking that way, but the leader laughed, noting Yuka was no longer afraid of him. They sat to discuss the situation, and Yuka suggested something abnormal was happening, possibly a spreading phenomenon involving monster behavior. The guild leader agreed and ordered an investigation. When Marina asked Yuka to elaborate, he explained it could be due to the absence of Dias, life forces tied to monsters. Sometimes these bonds break, causing stronger monsters to roam freely. Silk and Ran voiced concern over a potential surge of aggressive monsters. Yuka added that if creatures like the Zurag were breaking free, the threat was significant. Impressed with their performance, the guild leader praised them and announced their promotion to S rank. The team was shocked. Yuka questioned the decision, but the leader insisted, referencing Yuka's use of the rare Manchurian rocket spell during the broadcast. It proved his capability. Yuka was now officially A rank. Later, the team celebrated at a tavern. They opened their earnings and were amazed by the large sum. A note inside from the guild leader apologized and included a silver coin, which Yuka added to his collection. Silk excitedly confirmed they had reached their savings goal. Marina accidentally scattered the coins in her joy and thanked Yuka for leading them. When asked about his dream, Yuka shared it, to reach the deepest floor of the colorless Damas, also known as the Abyss Gate. His uncle had once tried and failed to reach it, and Yuka had inherited that dream. The girls pledged to support him. They agreed that it would be their next big goal and raised their glasses in a toast to the journey ahead. The team discussed adopting a new combat style. Marina playfully added that they'd also be expected to look stylish, while Ran mentioned they'd be promoting Arthur's products. Yuka explained that they'd wear Arthur-made outfits during missions and subtly advertise their gear while collecting damage. The girls were amused and excited, especially when they learned they'd get to keep the equipment after completing the mission. Yuka reminded them that the actual mission involved gathering Damas from a distant location called Qualto, where the ruins of Ion were located. Upon arriving at Arthas, Yuka recalled visiting the place with his old team. The girls soon appeared in their new outfits. eager for his opinion. He complimented them sincerely. Marina beamed with confidence, Ren felt her look was perfect for the recording, and Silk proudly showed off her new bow, though she admitted she still needed practice. Marina, thrilled, pointed out they were getting both money and clothes. Yuka smiled but reminded them not to celebrate too early, they still had work to do. Since the mission wasn't being live-streamed, they'd be recording video footage to send to Arthas after. Inside the ruins, Yuka explained the layout, 4 floors with the dais at the bottom. He advised using the stairways, the safest route, and proved why when he tossed a small stone off the edge, it vanished instantly due to spatial distortion. The team agreed to take the stairs. Ren seemed upset, and Marina teased her, saying it was because Yuka hadn't commented on her appearance. Silk chimed in, joking that Yuka still didn't understand women. Realizing his mistake, Yuka complimented Ren's hair tie. Delighted, she hugged him and declared she was ready for the mission. On the second floor, Yuka detected a trap in the corridor and disarmed it with his staff. They passed safely and took a short break. When Ren asked what drink Yuka had brought, Marina and Silk also chimed in with their requests. Yuka chuckled but then suddenly stopped, sensing danger. Moments later, 4 goblins appeared. Silk, clearly angry, immediately fired arrows. Yuka told her to calm down and stay focused. Assessing the situation, he instructed Ren to unleash a strong spell while Marina and Silk engaged in close combat to buy time. With a fireball, falling rocks, arrows, and sword strikes, the team defeated the goblins efficiently. Afterward, Yuka found a golden stone and asked if Silk was okay. She admitted goblins always made her angry, being an elf. She saw them as natural enemies. Marina handed Yuka a strange artifact she'd found. He explained it could unlock hidden abilities, though it wasn't in great condition. Silk suggested giving it to Marina since she had only one ability. Marina was excited at the idea and hopeful that it might reveal a new power. As they progressed, they found a treasure chest, which rewarded Ren with a magical bag. The team agreed she should keep it, and Yuka promised that if they found another, it would go to Silk for her arrows. They reviewed their supplies, everyone was in good shape, and prepared to continue. Moving to the 3rd and 4th floors, Yuka explained that monsters hadn't appeared here in a decade, but shadow stalkers were rumored to guard the dais gate. Suddenly, Marina pointed out a strange figure. Yuka confirmed it was a shadow stalker. He believed it couldn't cross the threshold, but it jumped forward and attacked, knocking Marina down. Ren rushed to heal her while Yuka attacked. The creature broke through his barrier and vanished, reappearing behind him to cast a spell that knocked him unconscious. It then targeted Ren and Silk, launching magical attacks. Marina tried to counter but missed. Silk called for Ren to enhance Marina, and with the boost, Marina launched a barrage of strikes. Ren added an ice spell, but the creature slashed Marina and Ren before summoning multiple projectiles. Yuka regained consciousness just in time to block the attacks and protect his team. Furious, he immobilized the shadow stalker with spells and chains, pinning it with gravity. With it restrained, Marina dealt a powerful sword strike, and Ren finished it off with magic. Marina hugged Yuka in relief. Ren teased that he shouldn't hug a girl that young, and Yuka replied that it was Marina doing the hugging. She quickly pulled back and apologized, but Yuka shrugged it off and praised her awareness. Without her, they might have been seriously hurt. Yuka and Ren agreed that the shadow stalker was unnatural, possibly a product of magical overflow. Silk asked what they should do next. Yuka said they should complete the mission first, and Marina suggested broadcasting the event. Yuka declined, explaining they were wearing unreleased armor, and they'd wait for the client's approval before sharing footage. Ren insisted on healing Yuka before they moved on, reminding him not to shoulder everything alone. He thanked her and admitted she was right. They checked their supplies and confirmed everyone was still in good shape. Approaching the gate, Yuka explained the ruins had once been full of people and old shops. Inside was a type of dais that hadn't been discovered yet. Ren added that some believed these gates were ancient artifacts, meant to allow passage to another world. Marina complimented her knowledge, and together, the team touched Tichuka responded to the praise, saying it was just the beginning. Silk asked about the guild's response, and Yuka explained they'd continue the mission and provided footage. The guild might reach out, so Yuka suggested taking 2 days off in the city. Marina excitedly proposed an outing, with Silk wanting to explore and Ren interested in historical sites. Yuka reminded them the guild might summon them, but they could explore tomorrow. Each girl suggested places to visit, and Yuka laughed, suggesting they create a plan. He also mentioned a shop with great chicken. Meanwhile, Thunderbike team was preparing for their mission. Barry complained about the food compared to Yuka's cooking. Simon, frustrated, told them to focus and asked about mana potion supplies. Barry admitted he hadn't bought any, relying on Camila, who was unimpressed. Simon then informed them they'd face ghoul monsters. Barry arrogantly claimed he could handle a ghoul alone, but Camila argued they needed healing magic. Jimmy set up the broadcast and Simon gave the order to head out to the guild. An official warned Thunderbike their rank could drop if they kept failing. Simon, angered, refused to take lower-ranked missions. He blamed the guild for not providing better adventurers. After eating, Barry suggested bringing Yuka back. Simon, deep in thought, realized they needed to convince Yuka. They planned to use the colorless abyss as bait, recalling Yuka's childhood dream of seeing it. Barry thought it would work and Simon agreed to try. Later, Yuka and his team were strolling through the market. Some adventurers dismissed them as beginners, which upset Ren, but Yuka reassured her. Mr. Mandy led them to their new apartment, and Marina loved it. Yuka, however, rejected the ground floor option due to security concerns. They visited another apartment which was ideal, and Yuka confirmed they'd buy it. Silk and Marina agreed, and they moved in as they settled in. Yuka prepared a meal and surprised the team with a large screen. They celebrated, but Yuka froze when an announcement about Thunderbike's mission to the colorless abyss aired. The girls were concerned, but Yuka reassured them. A package arrived for him, and he went to the guild, where he rejected a request from Thunderbike to explore the abyss. Simon confronted Yuka, frustrated by his refusal, but Yuka stood firm, saying his dream had changed the guild. The guild master asked Yuka's team to investigate the colorless abyss. Yuka hesitated, concerned they weren't strong enough, but Silk and Marina argued it was a chance to grow. Ren questioned if Yuka was scared, and Yuka admitted he was, not wanting to fail. He expressed his doubts, but the team reassured him. E-gate to proceed. Later, back at the guild, Yuka confirmed he had submitted the mission report. Ren praised him for handling everything so well. Here's a more concise version of the passage. Ren smiled and encouraged Yuck to pursue his dream. Maria reassured him, and Silk supported the plan. Yuck felt renewed confidence and apologized for hesitating. The team prepared for their mission into the colorless darkness. They were joined by Nene, a former thief turned ninja. The guildmaster explained the mission's nature, and Yuck asked for a skilled scout. They soon discovered the hidden entrance to the dungeon as they explored. The team discussed their objectives, with Yuck explaining that they were there to investigate anomalies, not treasure hunt. After fighting a massive creature, they took a break, found a treasure chest, and discovered valuable items, including a mysterious cube and an ancient ring. Yuck decided to hold onto the cube, suspecting it was connected to the anomaly. Later, the team encountered Simon and Thunderpike, who tried to pressure Yuck into forming an alliance and handing over the loot. Yuck refused and tensions escalated. The guild leader confronted Thunderpike, accusing them of racist remarks during the live broadcast. Simon was warned that their actions could lead to exile, and the guild leader demanded a public apology from Thunderpike. Simon, seething with anger, vowed revenge and was approached by a mysterious man who promised help in achieving his goals. Thanks for watching.